on, have some energy. Good afternoon. This is the best time of year, graduation. Welcome. Greetings and welcome to the Tulane School of Public Health and Tropical Medicine. This year, we're recognizing not only our 2022 doctoral graduates, but also our 2020 doctoral graduates who missed all the pomp and circumstance of their graduation celebrations due to the pandemic. So this year, we're thrilled to recognize a full slate of hardworking students who are now eligible to be called doctor. Reaching this milestone is no small feat, no matter your program or whether it's a PhD, DRPH, or SCD. That designation represents a tremendous amount of effort and sacrifice. But I think that at this point, you'll agree that it's been all worthwhile. You are now recognized leaders in your field of specialty and the skills and confidence to truly make a difference in the field of public health and perhaps help to train the next generation. This event is for you and your families and friends and your dissertation committees and everyone who's been cheering you on every step of the way, saying, yes, you can do it. Because now you have. You've done it, and you've achieved something that less than 2% of the population achieves. I applaud your success and look forward to seeing all the great things to come in the future. I now welcome one of your own, Dr. Bukuva Kumari, to come to the stage and provide the charge to the graduates.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to my Tulane community and their families who are watching this prestigious hooding ceremony across the globe and feeling proud of their beloved ones. I'm grateful to my husband, my son, and my father who are here to celebrate my success. But I owe the most to my mom, who was a child bride, but made sure that her daughters attend the school that she had once dreamed of going herself. Let me introduce myself. I did my MBBS, which is like equivalent to MD, and my master's in public health from Pakistan. I was granted Fulbright scholarship, which is a fully funded scholarship that made me fly all the way to the United States and pursue PhD in public health at Tulane School of Public Health. This journey seems pretty cool and accomplishing, but now that I reflect upon it, what an exhausting process it was to become a double doctor, as my friends call me now. But the 18-year-old me probably just aimed to finish the med school back then, get married and have babies, because that's what she had seen, like being around with women who were just housewives. Now that I cannot help recall, it's not only the hard work that I did, but it was actually crossing all the societal hurdles that came in the way. I was the first female in my family to go to college. I was the first one to go to a med school, a co-ed med school. Co-education, wow. The American society or the West has dealt long ago with these issues and come around with these issues decades early. However, women in the developing worlds, they are still struggling to improve their status. The girls are actually gradually being allowed to take education, but are the women being allowed to have a voice? For girls in my part of the world, there yet remains a gap between education and empowerment. The gap which my PhD research helped me understand by exploring the reproductive behaviors in Pakistan from the lens of women's status. From my new understanding of gender equality, I can share my 2 cents here. For me to become empowered, it was 2 sets of progressive families to break the shackles of the deep-rooted patriarchy, mine and my husband's. It is society's collective duty to let women have their own voice. However, more importantly, the parents who have now an additional responsibility to raise the sons better so that the men in the society can let the women find their voice, to share women's responsibilities as they are striving to increase their contribution to household economies, to make the world a safe place for women, and lastly, how to handle the empowered women. The national poet of Pakistan, Allama Iqbal, One of the prominent freedom fighters back then from the subcontinent wrote in Urdu, "Nahi tera nasheman kasre sultani ki gumbad par, tu shahi hai basera kar pahadon ki chatanon par." Through his words, he was trying to strive and motivate the men to continue fighting for freedom. And he was literally trying to compare the men with eagles who should aim for the peak of the mountains rather than staying comfortable on their thrones. Now is the time that women get the inspiration from his poetry and move out of the comfort zone and aim to conquer the world. I'm the first female from my community in Pakistan to get a PhD from the US, but I promise I won't be the last. Thank you everyone for hearing me today. Enjoy the rest of this wonderful week.
Good afternoon. My name is Andrew Anderson. I am the secretary for Delta Omega. Delta Omega is an honorary society for excellence in public health, and the ADA chapter at Tulane has been around since 1950. Today, I have the privilege of briefly acknowledging some Delta Omega awardees from the class of 2022. The first is for a poster competition that we hosted earlier this year. This competitive award came with a cash prize that was awarded to the student with the best presentation of their research. The award this year went to Renaud Jamel in the Department of Tropical Medicine for her poster entitled "Determinants of Malaria Infection Among Children Under 5 in the Democratic Republic of the Congo." The second is another competitive award for the best dissertation. This year's 2022 Delta Omega Dissertation Award goes to Rebecca Carter for her dissertation titled "Clinical Mentoring and Maternal and Neonatal Health." Congratulations.
Good afternoon. It is my pleasure to announce the awards that students have received or will be receiving over the course of this weekend. We have a lot of doctoral students that have won awards this year, so it's a very exciting time. First, I would like to ask if Hannah Kaufman is here to please stand. Thank you. Hannah has received 2 awards. The first is the Tulane 34 Award. This award is presented to 34 graduates from Tulane's 10 schools and colleges. It recognizes students for their exemplary leadership, service, and academic excellence. Named for the year in which Tulane University was founded, 1834, the Tulane 34 Award is among the most coveted university-wide honors bestowed upon students. Hannah will also be the recipient of the Tulane SPHTM Alumni Association Student Recognition Award. This award honors a student who has demonstrated outstanding scholastic achievement and accomplishments and shows promise of a distinctive achievement in leadership as an alumna. The student has had an outstanding academic record with a GPA of a 3.8 or better and has demonstrated exemplary school service and has clear public health goals. Congratulations, Hannah. Will Renaud Jamel please stand? Renaud will be receiving the Dean's Outstanding Student Leadership Award tomorrow at the award ceremony. The school honors a strong leader, someone who identifies necessary changes and has the initiative and conviction to accomplish those changes. This individual is an inspiration to their peers and motivates them to meet new challenges as well. Congratulations, Renaud. Caitlin Stork-Potts. Yes, congratulations. Caitlin will receive the Dorothy R. LeBlanc Memorial Scholarship Award. This award is given to an epidemiology student showing promise in a research career. Dorothy LeBlanc, a dedicated Tulane professor and field epidemiologist, was highly regarded by students and faculty. Congratulations, Caitlin. Andrew James Barron, will you please stand? Yes. And Andrew will also be receiving 2 awards on tomorrow. The first is the Donald J. Krogstad Award for Excellence in Community Involvement in Fieldwork. This honors the memory of a longtime faculty member, former chair of the Department of Tropical Medicine, and distinguished field and laboratory researcher on malaria, The Krogstad Award recognizes a graduating student in the Tropical Medicine Department in any program who, by their dedication to working locally in communities in Louisiana or in communities abroad, demonstrates passion, patience, skill, and joy in collaborating and empowering underserved populations. And he will also be receiving the Harrison Spencer Award for Outstanding Student in the PhD program. This award is presented to a student who has shown outstanding student service and excellence in the PhD degree program, named for a former dean of both the School of Public Health and Tropical Medicine and the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine. Dr. Spencer served for 16 years as the president and CEO of the Association of Schools of Programs of Public Health. Congratulations, Andrew. Caitlin, if you would stand again. Caitlin will also be receiving the Dean's Scholastic 4.0 Award. This award acknowledges students' academic achievements. It recognizes those who have maintained and are graduating with a perfect 4.0, demonstrating superior dedication and commitment. Congratulations, Caitlin. I will now welcome to the stage Dr. Catherine Andronopoulos to present the presentation for graduates and hooding of graduates. Dr. Andronopoulos.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Catherine Andronopoulos, and as the school's director of doctoral programs, I'm honored to present to you our class of 2020 and 2022 doctoral graduates. I will first present a description of each graduate and then ask them to come forward to be hooded. We will begin with our in-person graduates and then turn to our virtual participants. Our first graduate is Andrew Barron. Andrew earned his PhD in the tropical medicine concentration. His dissertation is titled Assessment of Socio-Demographic Factors Associated with COVID-19 Infection, COVID-19 Vaccine Uptake, and COVID-19 Vaccine Hesitancy among a large multi-center prospective cohort population in the southeastern United States. He was the recipient of Tulane's Sprinting to the Frontlines grant in April 2020 to assist the New Orleans Health Department with implementation of walk-up COVID-19 testing sites in underserved neighborhoods in New Orleans. Andrew is also the recipient of 2 awards, as you just heard, from the Department of Tropical Medicine: the Donald Krogstad Award for Excellence and the Harrison Spencer Award for Outstanding Students in the Tropical Medicine PhD program. Andrew will begin a 2-year postdoctoral training program at the CDC in Atlanta as an epidemic intelligence service officer working within the Division of High Consequence Pathogens and Pathology and the pox virus and rabies branch. He's excited to get back to work in the field of applied epidemiology to continue working towards his long-term professional goals focused on improving surveillance and control of emerging and neglected tropical infectious disease. Andrew will be hooded by Dr. Joe Keating. Please come forward. Our next graduate is Erin C Bryant. Erin is a native of New Orleans, Louisiana, and is receiving her DRPH in Global Community Health and Behavioral Sciences. In her dissertation titled Reshaping the Foods of Our Ancestors, an examination of nutritional and cultural aspects of the main meal among African American women from New Orleans, she examined the eating behaviors of African American women in the city, described how behaviors are shaped by tradition and culture, and developed healthful and acceptable variations of frequently consumed recipes using culturally responsive methods. Her research also includes studies in environmental health, HIV/AIDS prevention, and smoking and health-related quality of life. She has worked extensively in childhood obesity prevention, increased school nutrition and physical activity promotion, and physical education policy reform in Louisiana. Erin is currently the Senior Program Manager for No Kid Hungry Louisiana. She plans to build on this project to conduct additional research in food, policy and advocacy, and global health and nutrition. Post-graduation, she anticipates getting back to her first loves of endurance running, international travels in Thailand, Tokyo, and Ireland, and adopting another rescue dog. Erin will be hooded by Dr. Diego Rose. Our next graduate is Robert Josh Hart. Josh earned his PhD in the Tropical Medicine program. His dissertation is titled Identification and Development of Novel Pseudomonas aeruginosa Vaccine Candidates to Prevent Bloodstream Infections. In the short term, Josh is working on additional experiments and manuscripts at Tulane. His longer-term goals are to move to the Austin, Texas area with his family. He plans to continue to work in the biomedical field and concentrate on being the best scientist, partner, and dad he can be. Josh will be hooded by Dr. Lisa Marici. Congratulations. Our next graduate is Renaud Jamel Jadkarim. Renaud earned a PhD in the Tropical Medicine program. Her dissertation is titled Malaria Determinants and Prevention-Centered Outcomes Across Data and Literature of Vulnerable Populations. This study used advanced quantitative, spatial, and impact evaluation techniques to draw public health implications. After completion of her medical degree, Renaud won a scholarship from the government of Saudi Arabia to support her graduate studies, including the PhD program. Renaud was the first place winner for the Delta Omega Eta chapter poster competition in both 2017 and again this year. She also represented Tulane at the 2018 Delta Omega National Competition held during APHA. She was a founding member of the first vice president of the Public Health Doctoral Students Association and the International Student Advisory Board. Renaud has accepted a tenure track position in the School of Medicine at the Al Qura University, one of the top prestigious universities in Saudi Arabia. Renaud will be hooded by Dr. Joe Keating. Our next graduate is Judson. Jay completed her PhD in the Global Community Health and Behavioral Sciences program. Her dissertation was titled, What Had Happened Was, a multi-method critical analysis of police violence narratives about Black women in the US. Jay is the Louisiana Board of Regents Violence Prevention Fellow, and in 2021 was awarded first place at the Delta Omega Eta chapter poster competition. She also won the highest scoring student abstract honorable mention at APHA's Women's Caucus for portions of her dissertation work. Jay's next steps include gardening, a postdoc, and continuing her mother's legacy of rooting out white supremacy in all its manifestations. Jay's committee chair was Dr. Aubrey Spriggs Metcourt. She will be hooded by her father, Dr. Horace A. Judson, a retired professor of chemistry and former president of SUNY Plattsburgh, Grambling State University, and Knoxville College. Dr. Judson, please come to stage. Both of them. Oh, sorry, thank you. To Dr. Judson. Our next graduate is Bonnie Catalenic. Bonnie earned her PhD in the Global Community Health and Behavioral Sciences program. Her dissertation was titled Postpartum Contraception and Female Empowerment in Sub-Saharan Africa, Trends in Postpartum Contraception, Multi-Level Female Empowerment Measures, and the Role of PEPFAR. Bonnie's prospectus included collecting primary data in Zambia. However, due to COVID, she changed 2 of her 3 papers to secondary data analysis to complete her dissertation. While completing her PhD, Bonnie has worked full-time in clinical research for Tulane School of Medicine and also at LabCorp, where she continues to hold a position. Bonnie plans to conduct epidemiological and public health research in the public and private sector. On the personal front, post-graduation, she plans to free read, work on home improvement projects, and travel. Bonnie will be hooded by Dr. Kat Thiel. next graduate is Hannah Kaufman. Hannah earned a PhD in the Global Community Health and Behavioral Sciences program. Her dissertation is titled Health, Aging, and Healthcare Access for Older Adults in Paraguay and Latin America and the Caribbean. She was awarded a Fulbright Scholarship in 2017 to support field work for her doctoral dissertation in Paraguay. Hannah also served as a Peace Corps volunteer in Paraguay from 2008 to 2012, focusing on rural health and sanitation. Hannah was a founding member of the Public Health Doctoral Student Group and a great support to her fellow students by organizing writing retreats and other events to collectively motivate their work. Hannah will be hooded by Dr. Arachu Castro. Our next graduate is Avita Kumari. Avita earned a PhD in the Global Community Health and Behavioral Sciences program. Her dissertation was titled Women's Empowerment and Its Associations with Reproductive Behaviors and Intimate Partner Violence in Pakistan, a multi-method study. Avita was awarded a Fulbright Scholarship to pursue her PhD at Tulane. She was also awarded the John Snow International Research Fellowship to support her dissertation research. Avita was a founding member and vice president of the South Asian Graduate Association at Tulane in 2018. Avita is moving back to Pakistan after the commencement and is looking forward to joining academia in Karachi, Pakistan. But first, she plans on attending many big fat Indian weddings, which she has sorely missed during the last 5 years. Avita will be hooded by Dr. Mai Do. Our next graduate is Lu Lin. Lu earned a PhD in the Health Policy and Management program. Her dissertation was titled Prognostic Risk Score for Progression of Chronic Kidney Disease in Type 2 Diabetes Populations. Her research interests focus on modeling and chronic disease management. Lu plans to continue on with a career in academic research and public health after graduation. Lu Lin will be hooded by Dr. Lijiang Shi. Our next graduate is Kaipan. Kay earned her PhD in the epidemiology program. Her dissertation was titled Preconception Cannabis Use and Pregnancy Complications in the Prepared Consortium. Kay was awarded the Tulane School of Public Health and Tropical Medicine's Dean's Research Council Scholarship to support her doctoral studies. She's accepted a position as a research scientist at the University of Washington in the Institute for Health Metrics and Evaluation. Her long-term goal is to work for international non-governmental organizations in the field of reproductive or maternal health. Kaipan will be hooded by Dr. Emily Harville. Our next graduate is Caitlin Potts. Caitlin earned her PhD in the epidemiology program. Her thesis was titled Examining the Relationship Between Sleep and Diet in the Bogalusa Heart Study. During her doctoral program, she was the recipient of the Ruth L. Christian National Research Service Award from the National Heart and Lung Blood Institute of the NIH. She was also named a finalist for the Presidential Management Fellowship and is receiving the Dorothy LeBlanc Scholarship from the Department of Epidemiology. Caitlin is excited to start a postdoctoral fellowship in the Division of Sleep Medicine at Harvard Medical School in June and is looking forward to welcoming her third baby this summer. Caitlin Potts will be hooded by Dr. Lydia Bazzano. Our next graduate is Choka Fey Ramirez. Choka Fey earned a PhD in the Global Community Health and Behavioral Sciences program. Her dissertation was titled Public Health Workforce Development and Addressing Racism, a Mixed Methods Needs Assessment. She is now a clinical assistant professor here at the Tulane School of Public Health and Tropical Medicine, where she continues efforts in preparing our graduates to address racism. She is in the Department of Social Behavioral and Population Sciences and serves as the Associate Director of the Tulane Center of Excellence in Maternal and Child Health and the Program Director of the Maternal and Child Health MPH program. After years of cheering on students from the audience, she's looking forward to walking with them in this weekend's graduation. Choka Fey's committee chair was Dr. Aubrey Spriggs McCourt. I served as her co-chair and will hood her. Congratulations. Our next graduate is Xyrah Zhao. Xyrah earned her PhD in the Health Policy and Management program. Her dissertation was titled, The Impact of Telehealth Utilization on Diabetes Care in Louisiana Using Real-World Evidence. She was awarded the Atlanta Research Data Center Proposal Development Grant in 2019. Xyrah has accepted a position as a Prevention Effectiveness Fellow with the CDC, where she will focus on diabetes care. Xyrah will be hooded by Dr. Charles Stoker. Our next graduate is Francine Wood. Francine earned her PhD in the Global Community Health and Behavioral Sciences program. Her dissertation was titled, It Takes Two, Understanding Male Involvement During Pregnancy and in Childcare in Kinshasa, DRC. She is the recipient of the PEO International Peace Scholarship. She was also awarded the John Snow International Public Health Research Fellowship to support her dissertation. Francine has accepted a postdoctoral fellow position at the Center on Gender Equity and Health at the University of California at San Diego, where she will work on the Growing Up Great project. Francine will be hooded by Dr. Stacy Gage. Our next graduate is Annie Glover. Annie earned a PhD in the Global Health Systems Management and Policy program. Her dissertation was titled, Reproductive Agency, Exploring the Chasm Between Policy and Reality. Annie was awarded the Tulane School of Public Health and Tropical Medicine's Dean's Research Council Scholarship to support her doctoral studies. After graduating in 2020, she completed a postdoctoral fellowship with the NIH Fogarty Global Health Center. Annie continues to conduct research on safe abortion care in the DRC. She is a research associate professor at the University of Montana School of Public and Community Health Sciences. Annie is also a senior research scientist at the University of Montana Rural Institute for Inclusive Communities, where she is the PI on 4 evaluations in Montana of 2 HRSA maternal health grants, a CDC maternal mortality grant, and a CDC sexual violence prevention grant. Annie has taught MPH courses at the University of Montana, Baylor, and Tulane. Her next steps include starting a certificate program in spatial analysis at the Johns Hopkins University in the fall, and she will otherwise be snuggling with her new puppy, Winston. Annie will be hooded by Dr. Jane Bertrand. Our next graduate is Kendra Lazar. Kendra completed the DRPH in 2020 in the Global Community Health and Behavioral Sciences program with her dissertation titled Sexual Risk Behaviors Among African American Young Women in New Orleans. During her doctoral studies, she passed her comprehensive exam with distinction and won the Penny Jessup Travel Award. Since earning her degree, Kendra has been working on the Louisiana COVID-19 response, first as a bilingual quality assurance coordinator for Volunteers of America, Southeast Louisiana, then as the contact tracing program manager for the Louisiana Department of Health. Her role has evolved with the response, and she currently manages COVID-19 community support programs for the Louisiana Department of Health. Kendra has discovered a passion for emergency response and looks forward to continuing her work in Louisiana. Kendra will be hooded by Dr. Alyssa Lederer. Our next graduate is Kelia OMalley. Kelia earned a PhD in the Global Community Health and Behavioral Sciences program. Her dissertation was titled, Improving Access to Healthy Food Through Local Food Financing, a mixed method study of the New Orleans Fresh Food Retailer Initiative. She completed her degree in 2020, shortly after the COVID lockdown. Kelia was the recipient of the Tulane School of Public Health and Tropical Medicine's Alumni Association's Student Recognition Award. She is now a clinical assistant professor in the Social Behavioral and Population Sciences Department here at Tulane. She is also the associate director for Tulane's HRSA-funded MCH Nutrition Leadership Training Program, through which she mentors and provides leadership development experiences for public health nutrition graduates. Kelia and her partner Brandon welcomed their son Mars in February, bringing a new lens to her work in maternal and child health nutrition. Kelia will be hooded by Dr. Diego Rose. So one good thing that did come out of COVID is our ability to be high flex. So we will now turn to our virtual graduates. So our next graduate is Rebecca Carter. Her committee chair was Dr. Xu Tong. Rebecca completed her PhD in the epidemiology program. Her thesis was titled Clinical Mentoring in Maternal and Neonatal Health. During her doctoral studies, she won the 2019 Tulane Health Science Research Days Best Poster for a Doctoral Student Award. She was also the recipient of the Tulane Changemaker Catalyst Award in 2019 and was an NIH Fogarty Fellow in 2020. Since completing her degree, Rebecca has been working at the Massachusetts Department of Health in the Division of Maternal and Child Health Research and Analysis as a postdoctoral and as a postdoctoral fellow with CDC CSTE Applied Epidemiology Fellowship. Outside of work, she's been learning to play the banjo and knit. She will be pinned by her husband, Brett Jacobs. Our next graduate is Kimberly Michalak. Her committee chair was Dr. David Hotchkiss. Kimberly earned her PhD in the Global Health Systems Management and Policy program. The title of her dissertation was Assessing the Effect of Disease-Specific Programs on Health Systems, an analysis of the Bangladesh Lymphatic Filariasis Elimination Program's effect on health service coverage, catastrophic health expenditures, health, academic achievement, and work status. Papers from her dissertation have been published in PLOS Neglected Tropical Diseases. Kimberly holds a position as a senior technical advisor and public health bulletin project manager with the CDC Foundation. Through this work, she collaborates with governments in 15 low and middle income countries to train staff to communicate results of data in public health bulletins and inform health policies and programs. Her future plans include continuing to travel, teach, and mentor people in research. She will be pinned by her friend, Mary Allman.
Thank you.
Our next graduate is Mary Christina Wharton. Her committee chair was Dr. Li Zhengxi. Christina graduated in 2020 with a PhD from the Health Policy and Management program. Her dissertation was titled, Analysis of Medicaid Expansion's Impact on Access and Utilization of Special Populations Served by Federally Qualified Health Centers. During her PhD program, she received the Patient Access Network Foundation Research Award in 2017 for work on access to prescription medications for people without insurance. Since completing her PhD, she has been a postdoctoral fellow and associate research scientist in the Prevention Research Center at the University of California at Berkeley. After completing her postdoc, she hopes to continue alcohol, tobacco, and substance use prevention research. She will be pinned by her partner, Gail Stiers. Oh, hooded. Our last graduate is Yi-Cheng Zhang. Her committee chair was Li-Jeng Shi. Yes. Yi-Cheng earned a PhD in the Global Health Systems and Management program. Her dissertation was titled Treatment Delay Among Non-Small Cell Lung Cancer Patients in Louisiana State. While earning her doctorate, she served as a committee chair and then president of the International Student Advisory Board of Tulane University from 2017 to 2019. After receiving her degree in 2020, she accepted a position as a statistical analyst with the Leonard Davis Institute of Health Economics at the University of Pennsylvania. She is starting a new position as a senior manager of health economics in a biotech company this Monday. Let's all congratulate Yi-Cheng. As you can see, our doctoral graduates are an inspiring group with integrity, intellectual curiosity, and a dedication to improving health. Their success is a result of their tenacity and perseverance. But no person is an island. And so I want to thank the parents, spouses, children, and friends who are here today, who supported them on this journey. On behalf of the faculty and staff at Tulane, we thank you for the opportunity to teach and work with your loved one. To our graduates, as you embark on your next steps, I urge you to stay true to the passion that drew you to a career in research and public health. It is in that passion that you will find innovation and meaningful work. I would like to thank everyone who made the event today possible, including Erica Whitaker Valenzuela, Roseanne Bailey, Ravonda Derensberg, Leslie Bayonne, Dee Bowling, and Robert McDougald. This concludes the formal program. I now welcome you to join us in the Diebold Gallery for refreshments. Thank you also to our virtual graduates. Please allow faculty to process first, coming out the left-hand side of the hall, and the students to please process using the right-hand side. And again, congratulations to the classes of 2020 and 2022.